I don't have all my data for this past year because my L's haven't come back to school yet to help me crunch the final numbers, because we look at full academic year and we look at data in a lot of different ways. But they haven't come back to work yet, so we're getting ready for our leadership retreat next week. We kind of come together for a few days and restructure our school improvement plan and our parental involvement plan, which I promise I'll get to soon when I stop talking. But I do know that we made safe harbor in SWD math by one kid on the retake. We needed 2 to pass the retake. We had 3. Guess who number 3 was? William. That's right. That kid nobody ever thought would do it is the hero of Haralson County Middle School. And in a couple of weeks when they come back to school, I'm going to personally make the trip to the high school to tell him. And maybe he won't give them such a hard time. But, I don't know, I got off track. Where was I? Anyway, I'm just kind of giving you a brief rundown of everything we did. And at the end, we'll have our email addresses. I feel so fortunate that nobody wants to be under state direction. But like I said, it's probably the best thing that could have happened to us. I feel so fortunate that we got a chance to work with some great people. Over the course of those 3 or 4 years, we worked with 2 state directors. They provided such good training, good ideas, good feedback. And I feel, again, so fortunate that we had that opportunity to be under state direction. And if anybody has a question, all you've got to do is email me, and I'll be glad to help give some of it back. You know, just the first year I was there when Melba were talking about something in our school improvement plan and how well we thought it was working, and she looked at me and said, "Well, how do you know?" And I didn't have an answer for that. I felt it was working pretty good. I knew it was working pretty good. My heart and my head told me it was working pretty good, but I didn't have any numbers to back it up. If you don't have the numbers, maybe it's not working. And finally, we established the mentor position that Ms. Benefield is in. And like I said, she has been invaluable. So what happened next after all these improvement efforts? Like I said, we missed AYP in 9-10 by one kid. These were our numbers. Reading, SWD, math, SWD. If you'll notice, when we started at 28%, that ain't great, but it's a big improvement. In fact, that 6.2 points of gain was more than the previous 4 years combined of gain. Yeah. Thank you. But we missed it by one kid. Not good enough. I've got 3 years, so I'm down to 2 to go. Or I got to find a new job. Next year, this is after thinking maps, by the way. We didn't have thinking maps the first year. And this is one of the reasons why I love thinking maps. Reading continues to go up. SWD reading continues to go up. Math, slight increase for everybody. But look at SWD math. Yeah. 30 points in 1 year. I thought I was going to jail. In fact, my biggest fear all year long is that it would go from 70 back down to 40 something, and then it looked like, I was up to no good. But like I said, we drove it up a few more points this year. We made safe harbor. We did reduce our number of does not meet by 10%. We made it, even though there's no AYP. Additionally, our percentage of kids with 15 days or more, we saw a 2-year reduction from 15% to 9.8. We were pretty happy with that. Especially, in a rural system, sometimes when the weather is bad, transportation is an issue. Sometimes in this economy, when the weather is great, transportation is an issue. It's one of our barriers to parental involvement. I don't have gas money to come up there and see Mr. Ridley or Dr. Ridley or Jerk, whatever they call me. You keep him at school. I'm not coming up there. I don't have gas money to come get him. Or I don't have a car. But probably one of the things I'm most proud of, aside from that little SWD math thing, was in the course of 2 years, we cut discipline by 49%. 49%. And we reduced it by like 15 this past year. And I've had several people ask me, what did you do? Did you put in a positive behavioral intervention plan? Did you do some program? No. We started teaching. It's really that simple. You don't need a program. If you start teaching, discipline will improve. If you start engaging, attendance will improve. You can mentor all you want, but if there is not true engagement in your classrooms, they're still not going to come to school because they don't care anything about that. Y'all remember being 13? I grew up to be a principal. And when I was 13, I didn't care anything about school either. I didn't care anything about school when I went to college. Renee says she didn't see me at Berry. That's because we ran with different crowds. Seriously. I went to college just so I could kill time till I could get a gig playing bass with Bon Jovi. Y'all think I'm kidding. But that's right. But if they're not engaged, they're not going to come. They're going to misbehave. They're not going to be able to fill in enough bubbles on the test. They're not going to learn anything. That's what it's all about. And you've already talked about student engagement. Now we're going to talk to you about parents. That's what was missing from our program. I know you saw all the stuff we did. The only thing we did with parents, we hired Cheryl. We got parental engagement now because we got a parent mentor.